We're here to call for the decriminalization of blackness.
It is a pivotal time in law enforcement. We're coming off a year of widespread protests against police brutality, with cities facing calls to defund police and lawmakers on Capitol Hill reviewing reform and the state of policing. Recruiting and retention are growing problems for law enforcement in recent years.
Nicole Kreitz is here in the studio with us tonight. Nick, I know you've been looking into this issue here locally.
Yeah, Jared, while a lot of officers are walking away from the job right now, we found more, especially locally, are leaning into the calling and say recruiting people who want to see change, to be a part of it, might just be the best way to heal our community.
And they have to deal with, some of the crime that occurs here.
Every call, every day, Glendale Police Sergeant Marcel Delaney is dialed in.
When someone is upset with me because of what I do, I try to listen to them because I understand that they're hurting. Even if it's maybe not an accurate picture of how things are, there's a reason why that person is hurting so profoundly.
It's understandable why his first year as a patrol supervisor has been one of the most challenging in his 9 years on the job.
I am tired of every time I wake up in the morning, there's someone else polarizing the fact that maybe law enforcement is just not a good thing. All of us are not bad. I am not as they are. Most of us are not. There are bad people in every career. I'm so tired.
Raw emotion from this now viral TikTok post from another officer who is black and blue, relatable to many who are turning in their badges in droves. NYPD lost 5,300 officers, 15% of their force. Portland dropped more than 30%.
And when I look at the data here, we're not seeing this massive wave of people leaving. I know I hear it, I hear it and see it on social media, but when I really look at the data and facts here, except for the outliers where you see some big pops in New York City, we're not seeing that.
Phoenix Police is one of the largest departments in the state, averaging 12 to 24 resignations and retirements for the last decade. Assistant Chief Sean Connolly says retention's not the problem, it's recruiting.
To be incredibly honest with you, we have seen a reduction in recruitment.
He oversees the Phoenix Training Academy, where class counts are down about 40%.
This is the worst I've seen it since I've been in law enforcement.
Glendale Detective Tom Sy says they used to average 1,500 people for every test. Now they have to reopen the window 3 or 4 times to get enough qualified applicants.
When I came into the unit 8 years ago, we sent a class of 22 to the police academy. Our last academy had 2 people in it. We're not just looking for bodies. We have 21 openings, but we're not just looking for anybody.
This is a job like none other, right? I put on my uniform at the beginning of the day, and I absolutely have no idea what I may see. There is no way to predict what I'm going to face, what I'm going to see, or who I might be able to help.
30 David, send me the 962.
Glendale Sergeant Justin Ramsey's dad was a deputy for 30 years. He says he sees every encounter as an opportunity to change public perception.
I want them to know that I was born in this city. I was absolutely raised in this city. I went to high school in this city. I got married in this city. I had my kids in this city. Everything I am is sorry.
It's personal.
Myself and my officers, we're going to respond to that person in their time of need with the same compassion that we would treat my family.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
They show up and it automatically creates and exudes this level of anxiety because, they're here as more or less they're a hammer that's meant to de-escalate things through pain compliance.
Jacob Brayford with the No Cap Coalition is pushing for cities like Phoenix to develop a new arm of first responders. Licensed mental health and substance abuse counselors who'd be dispatched to crisis calls before law enforcement.
Behavioral health issues and mental health crises and substance abuse issues and calls pertaining to the unsheltered community. We began to realize that there is a misapplication of this first responder department as a resource to these calls, which they are fundamentally and incapable of being trained in.
I majored in psychology, and actually both my parents were social workers.
Sergeant Delaney spent 14 years as a caseworker for group homes and foster care before getting into policing.
That's my fear, is that if you put somebody in a situation that's not prepared to deal with that violence potential, they might get hurt.
His hope? To recruit the very people who want to change the system from all different fields and walks of life to join them in being the change, to answer the call to serve.
And of course, we're still playing catch up in recruiting from hiring freezes we saw back in the recession.
Nicole, what stuck out to me is that recruiting classes are down like 40% because the valley keeps growing. People keep moving here.
Right. And all those volatile crisis calls we talked about only seem to ratchet up during the pandemic. So focusing on expanding and diversifying recruiting will be even more important moving forward. Heather?
Nicole, great job. Such an important story. Thank you so much.